Welcome to It's a First, where every great story begins at the very first moment. This is Season 1, Food Origins, Chapter 1, featuring episodes 1 to 10. Sit back, relax, and let's discover where it all began. What if I told you the world's very first pizza looked nothing like the one you ordered today? The story begins over 2,000 years ago. Ancient Greeks and Egyptians baked flatbread over hot stones and topped it with herbs, olive oil, and spices. It was simple and delicious, but it wasn't pizza just yet. Naples, Italy, in the late 1700s, street vendors began selling flatbread topped with tomatoes, a fruit many people once believed was poisonous. As people realized tomatoes were safe, they quickly became a favorite topping. Then in 1889, pizza maker Raffaele Esposito created a pizza with tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil for Queen Margherita. So, the next time you eat pizza, remember, all started with a simple flatbread and a topping people were once afraid to eat. The very first hamburger didn't have a bun. In fact, it wasn't even a sandwich. Long before burgers came with cheese, lettuce, and fries, people in Hamburg, Germany, were enjoying seasoned minced beef served on a plate. This dish became known as the Hamburg steak. It looked like today's burger patty, but there was still one thing missing: the bread. When German immigrants brought the Hamburg steak to America, someone had a simple but brilliant idea: put the meat between two slices of bread. That small change transformed a simple meat dish into one of the world's most famous foods. Soon, buns replaced sliced bread, and the modern hamburger was born. So, the next time you bite into a hamburger, remember it began as a bunless beef patty called the Hamburg steak. Sometimes, history's biggest inventions start with the simplest ideas. The world's first ice cream wasn't made in a freezer, because freezers didn't even exist. Thousands of years ago, people in ancient China enjoyed frozen treats by mixing snow with milk, rice, and fruit. It was a luxury reserved for royalty. In ancient Persia, enormous underground ice houses kept snow frozen even during the hottest summers, making icy desserts possible year-round. Ice was so valuable that workers traveled into the mountains to collect it, then carried it for miles before it melted. Every frozen treat required an incredible journey. As frozen desserts spread across Europe, chefs experimented with cream, sugar, and new recipes, slowly creating the ice cream we know today. So, the next time you enjoy a scoop of ice cream, remember it all began with snow carried down from the mountains, long before anyone had a freezer. The world's first chocolate wasn't sweet. It wasn't even a candy. It was a bitter drink. More than 3,000 years ago, people in ancient Mesoamerica harvested cacao pods and turned their beans into a rich, bitter drink enjoyed during ceremonies and special occasions. The Maya and later the Aztecs believed cacao was so valuable that it was considered a gift from the gods, and cacao beans were even used as money. When Spanish explorers brought cacao to Europe, people began mixing it with sugar, cinnamon, and milk, completely transforming its flavor. Over the centuries, chocolate continued to evolve until it became the sweet bars, candies, and desserts loved around the world today. So, the next time you enjoy a piece of chocolate, remember it began as a bitter ceremonial drink long before it became the sweet treat we know today. According to a famous legend, the world's favorite drink was discovered because some goats wouldn't stop jumping around. The legend tells of an Ethiopian goat herd named Kaldi, who noticed his goats became unusually energetic after eating berries from a mysterious plant. Curious about the berries, Kaldi brought them to nearby monks, who first doubted their value before experimenting with them. As the rich aroma filled the room, the monks brewed the roasted beans into a drink that helped them stay awake during long hours of prayer. Coffee soon spread across the Middle East and eventually around the world, becoming one of the most popular drinks ever created. So, the next time you enjoy a cup of coffee, Remember, it may have all started with a few energetic goats and a curious shepherd. Matcha wasn't created for Instagram, or even for cafes. The first people who truly fell in love with it were Japanese Zen monks. More than 800 years ago, Japanese monks brought powdered tea from China after studying Buddhism. They discovered it helped them stay awake and focused during long hours of meditation. Unlike ordinary tea, matcha is made by grinding whole tea leaves into an incredibly fine powder, then whisking it directly into hot water. Over time, matcha became more than just a drink. It became the heart of the Japanese tea ceremony, a tradition built on respect, harmony, purity, and tranquility. Today, matcha has traveled far beyond Japan. You'll find it in cafes, desserts, ice cream, pastries, and drinks all over the world. So the next time you enjoy a matcha latte, remember, it wasn't created as a trendy drink. It was perfected to help people find calm, focus, and mindfulness. One of the world's favorite foods may have been discovered by complete accident. Inside an animal's stomach, thousands of years ago, travelers carried fresh milk in bags made from animal stomachs because they had no bottles or refrigerators. According to the leading theory, the heat, movement, and a natural enzyme called rennet inside the animal's stomach caused the milk to separate into solid curds and liquid whey. Instead of throwing it away, someone tasted the curds and discovered they were surprisingly delicious. People soon learned how to repeat the process on purpose, creating the first cheeses that would eventually spread across the world. So the next time you enjoy a slice of cheese, remember it may have all started with a forgotten bag of milk and a very unexpected discovery. The world's most famous chocolate bar didn't even exist a few years ago, yet today, people line up just to get one. The story began in Dubai in 2021, when entrepreneur Sarah Hamouda wanted to turn the flavors of the beloved Middle Eastern dessert Nafa into a chocolate bar. The result was a handcrafted chocolate bar with creamy pistachio, crunchy katafi, and rich milk chocolate. It was called Can't Get Nafa of It. At first, only a small number of people in Dubai knew about it. Then, a viral social media video introduced it to millions around the world almost overnight. Soon, chocolatiers across the globe created their own versions, turning Dubai chocolate into one of the biggest dessert trends in recent years. So, the next time you see Dubai chocolate, remember, it wasn't created generations ago. It was invented in 2021 and became a worldwide sensation in just a few years. Remember making Dalgona coffee during lockdown? The drink actually became famous after South Korean actor Jung Il-woo tried a whipped coffee in Macau in early 2020 and said it reminded him of Korea's Dalgona candy. That's how it got its name. But whipped coffee itself had existed long before 2020. Similar versions had already been enjoyed for years in countries like India, Pakistan, and Greece. Then the pandemic arrived. Millions of people stuck at home began recreating the drink, and social media turned it into a worldwide sensation almost overnight. Within weeks, Dalgona coffee appeared everywhere, from cafes and bakeries to millions of home kitchens across the globe. So, the next time you see Dalgona coffee, remember, it wasn't born during lockdown. The pandemic simply introduced an old idea to the entire world. The world's most famous fried chicken wasn't invented by just one country. It was created when two cultures came together. Centuries ago, Scottish cooks were already frying chicken in hot fat. Their method made the outside crispy, but they rarely added much seasoning. Meanwhile, many West African cooks had their own tradition of frying chicken with flavorful spices and rich seasonings. When these traditions met in the American South, they blended into something completely new, and it's the fried chicken we know today. Over time, families added their own secret spices and recipes, turning fried chicken into one of the world's favorite comfort foods. So, the next time you bite into fried chicken, remember its crispy crust tells the story of two cultures that changed food forever. Follow for more stories about the very first things in history.
It's a first.